Thanks for clicking on the video. We're going to dive into something that most people are too afraid to ever even ask. And this guy pointed right at Cliff Knechtle's face and said, well, then you must think that Gandhi went to hell, don't you? Basically is what he was saying. Because, yes, I will stand right here today and make the truth claim that Jesus is the way, the truth, the life, the only way to go to heaven. And I don't care how good you are, whether you're Mother Teresa or Gandhi, you have to go through Jesus. But on the other hand, we do not know one another's hearts. So, unless you're not judged, for you be judged. For you must pick the log out of your eye before trying to pick the small needle out of your brother's. But basically, Cliff said, no, I actually have a great respect for Gandhi's love for Christ. Because Gandhi had a great love for Christ, a great respect for Jesus. It's not to say that he was a Christian. I'm not making that claim, but I am also making the claim that he wasn't not a Christian, because you don't know that just because he spent most of his life being one way, and actually was a really good guy, by the way, philosophized a lot. Who's to say that deep down in Gandhi's heart, he didn't actually believe that Jesus was the Son of God, the Messiah, that he accepted Jesus' blood for his sins. You don't know Gandhi's heart. You can't assume that. So a lot of people have the problem with being a Christian because of that. Because they're like, well, if I'm a Christian, then I'm saying that me and everyone else who is also a Christian goes to heaven and is good boys and girls. And whoever doesn't go to heaven is a bad boy or girl. Makes the naughty list. No, that's not really it. So everyone has their own not so straight path through it, including figures like Mother Teresa and Gandhi, including really crazy people like Jeffrey Dahmer. People will have this opinion on, they're like, what? And he, in his final days, accepted Jesus. We don't know if this is true or not. Only God knows. But if it's true, then heck yeah. That means he was truly sorry for what he did. Maybe he was mentally effed up. We don't know. So, because you got to understand that you are forgiven by grace. You are let in. Your salvation is dependent upon grace, not works as well. It's interesting how Hulk Hogan got baptized. He probably had his faith longer than 2 years before he passed away. But 2 years before he passed away, he got baptized, and then he passed away. Evel Knievel, right before he died, which I'm going to do a further deep dive into Evel Knievel and his conversion, because that blew me away. It was Lee Strobel who was talking with Michael Knowles. Shout out Michael Knowles and his kind of podcast-ish conversations that he does with people. And Lee Strobel said that he called him up and said, you know me? I'm evil. He was like, what? He's freaking out. It's funny. But, and then Evil was like, I want to know more about Jesus. Tell me. And he had a real conversion. And then he passed away. I don't really know the full story behind it. Actually, my mom used to work behind the scenes for Evel Knievel back in the day. A little side tangent there. But anyway, so it's interesting because people oftentimes, they know the truth right near the end of their life. I mean, even Crowley, Aleister Crowley, the person who was a big influence into Satanism, he, right as he was dying, was like, oh no, something is very wrong here. Because he thought he had control over his little spirit. And it's like, no, you may for a little while with your little astral projection nonsense. But God is the ruler, the final commander. So, again, it kind of falls back to the line of pick out the little stub in your eye before picking out the log in others' eyes, because a lot of times it is good to sit there and analyze. It's good to read, look at giants in the field and look at how they messed up. It's great. But don't get lost in the sauce of that, because you gotta fine tune what you're doing and what you're working on. Because if you don't, then no one else will. No one else is going to care as much, except for God and Jesus, but they already took care of that for you, right? Read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John if you don't know what I'm saying. They already took care of that for you. So now you, with your free will, need to figure out what to do. And you have the brain capacity to do it. God gave you. He would not trouble you with temptations that you could not overcome, like the Bible verse says. Focusing on yourself, not in a selfish way, but in the way that the more you laser focus in on one thing, you actually end up getting spark to the fire. When you don't laser focus in on something, you don't get it done. When you try to do 3 or 4 projects at once, you oftentimes don't get one done. When you just do one thing for 5 hours straight, you get it done. So I urge you, if there's, something that you've been needing to work on, reinforce it with the positive statement. Instead of going, I need to do this, I need to do that, go, I'm doing great at this now. My health, right? I'm doing amazing at health. And then your brain will start to look at things that collaborate and are synonymous with that, and you'll grab onto it and do it. Over time, it may not happen right away, but just keep pounding those thoughts. Gandhi did know about Jesus. He said, I like your Christ. I do not like your Christians. So again, as Christians, we tend to be so focused on others. It's fine, totally get it. We're here to help shape the world, be the salt of the earth. It's important to have an outwardly opinion and not be sheepish. But the question is, what's happening in your heart? So, and that's what the question is for Gandhi, what happened in his heart in the final moments. But it doesn't have to come down to your final moments, folks. Right now, Gandhi may have been prone, let's say, I don't know Gandhi very well, but let's just say he got prone to the idea of, wow, I'm being really popular with my ideals, right? A lot of us get popular or get a lot of likes and views on something, and we're like, yeah, I know something, and people are listening. And that is great, but we have to remember who knows the most and who will always get kneeled down to. You guys heard that? They all stopped at once. What is there gonna be, a T-Rex coming through or something? Yeah, silence. But you know what I'm saying? So you have to respect authority. You have to respect the person that knows the most. If you want to be a master at swordsmanship, you have to respect the person that can wield the sword the most. And Jesus is the master swordsman. So you must kneel down to the master and understand, show me the way. And Jesus always pointed at the Father. So because you can trust Jesus, because you know Jesus is real, because you know he's a real guy, because you know he's reliable, the most reliable, name someone more reliable. I dare you in the comments. You can't. And you can't. If you can rely on him, then just trust him. And he trusted the Old Testament. He trusted everything. Just follow Jesus. And if you don't have belief, do more research on Jesus. Don't get distracted by these weird loopholes. If Jesus is the central point of the Bible, so if you can trust Jesus, you can trust the Bible. Okay? And Jesus was a real person. Just look into the Shroud of Turin. That's like something that I feel like is indescribably amazing. You know? So, subscribe if you like this content. Drop me a comment what you want to talk about next. Maybe I'll do another deep dive on the Shroud of Turin. I feel like there's a lot of updated information coming out on that. And let me know what you guys think. Share this with a friend. Help me out with the algorithm, boys and girls. And check out Guiding Cross Official. Their merch is awesome. It says, he has risen. He's dunking. It's awesome. Look at this. Look at that. Sweet. So, peace out. We're down here by the water. Join the vibes.